This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going back to the 13th to the 15th century, where a Portuguese king was in an Alhambra in Spain and saw these beautiful ceramic tiles, fell in love with them, and went back from that Alhambra to his own kingdom in Portugal and made them there as well. Today we're going to be talking about Azul, which is based upon those tiles. This is from Plan B Games. It's for 2 to 4 players, takes 30 to 45 minutes to play. Let's take a look and I'll see you on the other side. In Azul, each player starts with their own board, and over the course of the game, you're going to be drafting tiles, placing them on your board, and at the end of the round, hopefully adding these over here, where you're going to be able to score points in all different ways. Now, the game comes with this really nice bag. It's gorgeous, it feels good, it fits all the tiles really well. You're going to set this up so that there's different factories, a certain amount depending on the amount of players. This is for a 3-player game, and you're going to randomly draw 4 tiles from each of these and put them on each of the factories. When it's your turn, you're going to either take all of the tiles of the same type off of a factory, and when you do that, let's say I take these 2, all the other tiles go into the middle. Now when you take those, you can place them on any of these open spots, but you start with the spot on the right. So maybe I place this one here, and this one here, and I'm trying to get exactly one more to finish this, this row here, which will be a good thing, as you'll see in just a moment. Now the other 2 players have gone, and let's say it's my turn. I want exactly one more of those. Let's say I take this one, which moves these ones to the middle. And so I would be able to move that tile right to that open spot, and I'm good with that tile for now. Now, if for some reason I had to take more than what was there, all additional ones go down here, which will be minus points at the end of the round. Now, instead of taking one type from here and pushing them all to the center, you can take all of one type from the center. So let's say some player wants these 3, they have to take all of them, and they would place it on their board. Now, the first player to take that will also take this. That means they're going to be the first player for next turn, but it's also going to be minus points. This continues of drafting tiles until all of the tiles are gone from the center and all of the factories. Now at the end of the round, you'd be moving these from top to bottom into the corresponding spot. Of course, it has to be open for it to go there. So this, I could go here, and that would get me 1 point because I placed this. This would go here, I would get 2 points. 1, 2. This goes back to the lid of the box. Here I'd get 1, 2, 3 points. These go to the lid of the box. These 2 have not been finished, so they would stay there like this. And I would also get minus points for the amount of points here. So this is minus 2, 3, 4. I'd get minus 4 points. You track points using this cube on your board. The subsequent round, let's say I was able to score this, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This continues doing these rounds until one player has completed one horizontal line. That'll be the last round. You'll get points for different things. For each of the ones that you have all 5, so all 5 of those in the different rows, I'll get 10 points. For each completed row, I'll get 2 points. For each completed column, I'll get 7 points. Whoever has the most of the win at the end is the winner. And if it's tied, the player with the most complete horizontal lines wins. If they still tie, then they share the victory. There's also the back side of the board, which is a variant where you can place the tiles anywhere when you place it. There's no restriction. You're not forced to place it anywhere, but you got to make sure that in the 5 vertical lines, you never have the same tile more than once, and it just changes the way the game plays. All right, well, there was Azul. Let's first start with the components of how the game looks. I think this game is absolutely beautiful to look at. The tiles look beautiful, the bag is beautiful, I like the colors on the box and the boards. It's just a pleasant thing to look at on the table. And the components themselves are great. Those tiles are nice and chunky, they feel good, tactilely, it feels good to pick them up and put them down. So everything there is top notch. I like how you're trying to make plans based upon your board and the tile distribution. So you're looking at what you've done so far, you're looking at what's out there and you're going, okay, I could try to get this one, or I could try to get this one. And then of course your plan's always got to work because somebody's gonna take the thing that you want and it changes the board. You gotta think about things when it gets there. But I like how you're trying to plan your turn out as soon as you see all the tiles, and that plan will change as the round goes on. I like how you're trying to figure, okay, am I gonna take all of those ones in the center from the center tiles, or am I going to take all of the one of those edge tiles and push the rest to the center? And there's a lot of thought to go there because you're thinking about what's there, you're thinking about what will be there afterwards, you're looking at your board thinking, after I take these, what will be left, what else should I be going for? And you're also this interaction, you're looking around to see what else is going on out there, which will hurt the other players most. And that brings me to the next thing, which is the hate drafting in this game, as people call it. But essentially, there's great opportunities to be looking at what other people need and taking something that probably will help you a little bit, but will hurt them a lot. And that happens a lot in this game because it's part of the strategy is interaction. And I like the interaction in this game where you are actively trying to force people to maybe, you could probably manipulate it when it gets towards the end. And there's a ton of tiles there. Somebody's going to go over in that tile type if they take it. And you can sort of manipulate things to try to make it so they have to end up taking all those, getting a bunch of negative points. Or even just, they're one away from getting this, which will give them a full column. I'm going to take this even though I don't really need it right now. It's okay. So I like that aspect of it. I also like the different point goals. So, you have all of one type, you have the columns, you have the rows. And so I like how you can kind of go for different things depending on what's going on in the game. So I like that aspect of it. Now, anything I didn't like about the game? Well, it is an abstract game. So this might be too abstract for some. If you don't like abstract games, this might not be your cup of tea because it is a pure abstract game. The tiles themselves, there's a little nitpick, is that I think 2 of them were solid. I think the red and the blue were solid. The rest of them have these beautiful patterns on it. I would have loved to have seen them all have patterns. Maybe that was historically not accurate, but I think for the game, you have all these tiles that are beautiful, then you have these other 2 tiles that are like, they're okay. I just wish they all would have had beautiful patterns on it. It would have made the game even more beautiful than it was. My last one is probably the biggest thing, is that I liked this game. Don't get me wrong. It is a good, solid game, and I enjoyed it. But there's been a lot of people coming out saying that this game is mind-blowingly amazing, and there's been a lot of hype for this game. And for me, my expectations, I think, were a little higher than how I felt about the game after playing it, because it's a good game. I almost wish I didn't hear anything about it because, again, it's a good, solid game. However, I don't think it's quite as good as what people are saying. It was fine. I would gladly play it if you asked me to play it, but I don't think it's quite as good as what people are making it out to be. I mean, it's an abstract game that looks nice, and it's fine, but I don't think it's like, whoa, one of the best games of the year like people are saying or anything like that. It made me think of another game, because this essentially is an abstract game where you're drafting something, putting it on your own board. And as I was playing this, I kept saying to myself, this kind of reminds me a little bit of Sagrada that came out earlier this year. Now, it's dice drafting instead of tile drafting, but essentially you're doing similar things where you're drafting dice, you can hate draft on other people, and you're trying to build your own thing. And for me, if I'm going to play an abstract game, which I do tend to like abstract, but if I'm going to play a game that has drafting and building up my own board, I just felt that I would rather play Sagrada because that game had much more, I felt like the replayability was more interesting because every game you're getting a different secret goal. There's different tools out there that allow you to break the rules of the game, and those are different each game. And I felt like the tension of filling up your window towards the end had this arc to it. This one was fun. It was fine. You're building up your own board, but I felt like it could be a little bit more repetitive because as you're building things up, you could fill up a row and then clear that row, put that tile, for scoring, and then keep doing it. I felt like you kept doing the same things over and over. Sure, you had this overall plan that you're trying to do, and that's fine, but I felt like the mechanisms were a little bit more repetitive than I'd say in Sagrada. So if I was going to play a game, I would say, a drafting game, building your own thing, and that with a lot of interaction. Why would I not play Sagrada over this? I don't know. I just think Sagrada is the game that should be getting the accolades, which I think it has. This game is good, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like not as good as what people are saying, and I would rather just play Sagrada. But if you like abstracts and this one calls to you, the theme, the look of it all, but you'll probably enjoy it. But just go in with the right expectations that I don't think it's quite as good as everyone is saying, but good game, and that is Azul.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.